Yeah. She said that only made her.
Yeah, no, I think it's important.
Only in Vancouver. I'm surprised he wasn't wearing flip-flops. Hello everybody, welcome to a very snowy Mount Seymour. It's just pissing with rain in Vancouver, so I know I complain about the weather all the time, but man, it's just been relentless for weeks. So I looked on the webcam and the temperature here is just hovering around 0, so it's snowing a little bit here, but there's lots of great snow on the trees here. Now it's forecast to rain for the next week or month or year, but I really need to get out of the house. So I've come to an area that I haven't spent much time in. This is actually, it's not the summit area, it's down low by the start of the trailhead from the parking lot. And this trail goes out to an area called Dog Mountain. And I've referred to Dog Mountain a few times from the summit looking down, and I thought I'd go and check it out. Now I'm not terribly optimistic about any light, so I've decided to really challenge myself again today. I mean, the trees just look absolutely gorgeous with all the snow on them, but we're again lacking any kind of light, which is fine. Like I said, I always love a challenge. And the nice thing about Lightroom and Photoshop, as I kind of showed you in my processing video there, is that you know, if you are lacking light, then you can, with dodging and burning and some other techniques, you know, make the image come alive. I mean, personally, I would prefer just nice light, so I don't have to muck about in Photoshop and Lightroom, but those programs really do save the day when you don't have any kind of light whatsoever. Like in the past, shooting film, if you had poor light and you took an image, then there's a really good chance that you would just end up throwing the image away. Garbage in, garbage out, as they used to say. But with today's technology, even with poor light, you can, if you've got good composition, make something look quite special. So that's my challenge today. Try and come up with a decent composition and see if I can pull it out in Photoshop or Lightroom. Right, there's more hills on this trail than I thought there was going to be. That was another reason why I came on this one.
Stepping on your roller coaster, going down, but I never felt this high. Biggest ride of the century. Wanna drop into the ocean, wanna feel like we're the only ones around, but I'm lost, you got me clueless.
Okay. Probably not the best conditions to fly a drone. It's the weather's gradually getting worse and worse. So I'm on the summit of Dog Mountain, and as you can see, the view from up here is just spectacular. I think what I'm going to do is go into the woods and see if I can get some compositions in there. Oh dear. All right. All right, now I don't mind admitting the conditions are getting a little bit challenging to photograph in. The snow's really coming down. They were predicting, or the weathermen were predicting a couple of centimeters, but I think we've already got about 5 or 6 at least. Now I am having a bit of a hard time finding compositions, but I have found something. Maybe if I take a couple of images, I'll kind of get into the mood. It's difficult when your stuff's getting all soaking wet, because we're just kind of hovering on the you know, the freezing level, so everything's just getting soaked. I tried to do a bit of drone work, but I wasn't too successful. Right, so anyway, what I have here is I have a couple of I think they're mountain hemlock, but I'm not sure. Well, they could be cedar. Anyway, there's a couple of trees here, a couple of conifers right in the foreground here, and I've got really close with a wide angle lens, so I want them to be the dominant part of the frame. And then behind that you can see 2 or 3 other large trees with snow kind of covering them. Now the reason why I've got quite close to these trees is that I want to include quite a bit of the trees in the background. If I'd backed off with a longer lens, then, you know, because you're narrowing the angle of view, you wouldn't get as much of the trees in the background. So let's just try and clean this lens here. So that's what I'm going for. I've got a 16 to 35, and there's some nice little spindrift snow in the foreground, so I can see if I can include that. Maybe I can dodge and burn in Photoshop to kind of accentuate those curves. Anyway, that's the first composition, and then over here, this is going to be more of a general shot. You'll notice that, I mean, the trees are just gorgeous in here with all the snow and the snow coming down. So I'll probably just take a general shot. Maybe I might do a little pano there. I think I'm just going to flatten it out, so I'm not going to have anything in the foreground, and I'll kind of, because it's kind of foggy and misty back here. I'm on a little bit of a hill here, and behind me here the trees just look fantastic. I'm on the windward side, so the trees on this side look as if they have more snow on them. If you go on the other side, I guess it's the lee side, yeah, they don't look like they have as much snow, so that's kind of why I'm on this side. Right, I'm going to take this image and then try and get a composition over here. Really quite like this scene back here. I don't know if you can see it. I think you can. The only part that kind of might be a little distracting is there's a little hillside in here that's quite bright, and that's kind of the brightest part of the image. So if I do anything with this in Photoshop or Lightroom, I'm probably going to have to darken that bit quite a bit there. The scene is quite flat because the light is flat. But I really like the amount of snow. It looks quite surreal. And of course, because I'm standing up on a hillside here, looking across, the scene looks quite flat with the flat light and the wall of trees there. Anyway, we'll give it a go. Okay, now as far as my settings go, I'm at ISO 64 f11 at about 1/13 of a second. And I've overexposed it by just under a stop, 2/3 of a stop, just for the snow. Otherwise, you know, if I use the exposure of the camera once, then everything will look quite grey, especially in this light, and then I'll have to open it up considerably in Lightroom. think I may have found a tree with character. Right here. Finally. Now I think it's dead, but there's some, I don't know, it looks really nice. There's some really nice kind of undulations, snow pillows, some nice shading in there. So I think I could probably bring that out in post-processing. I don't know, it just looks like a nice clean scene. Might be too clean, too simple. But I'm going to play around with this and see what I can come up with. And then I think I'm going to call it quits for today because it's just coming down like crazy. I'm getting a bit wet. All my camera gear is getting frozen. Oh dear. It's just incredible. Just keeps coming down. It's too bad because I think it's supposed to snow tomorrow, and then the day after it's supposed to warm up, and it's supposed to rain up here, so it's a real shame. But that's the problem with up here, because we're somewhat temperate on the west coast here. The local mountains here, they're usually just above freezing, so you'll get either tons of snow and then rain, and it just kind of washes it all away. But keep hoping, keep trying. Perseverance pays off. Well, I hope you enjoyed my little excursion here into the blizzard. Oh dear. I think I'm going to go down and get dried out and have a cup of tea. But anyway, as always, please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and if you don't want to miss any future videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Alright, hopefully next time I come up here we'll have lots of snow and I don't know, a bit more light. Alright, till next time, thanks so much, bye bye.